I'd like to call to order the Washington Township Planning Commission meeting for January 8th, 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. Start the meeting by doing the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I got more room.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome again to the Planning Commission meeting. If you would, Dana, roll call.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Mr. Jaski?
Here.
Mr. Chaplin?
Here.
Ms. Hall? Mr. Robb?
Yes.
And can we get an approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting?
Motion to approve. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And approval of the minutes for the meeting from December 11th, 2025.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5, annual election of the officers. As everybody, obviously, we're missing Lisa tonight, but we had Bob Sacco, who's long-term serving member of the commission, has stepped down from his position, and we appreciate Bob's service over the years, and unfortunately, he'll be missed. So we're looking for somebody to fill that void at some point. But tonight, we are electing the new officers for the coming year. So if anybody, I guess the floor is open for nominations for the positions.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate you, Barry Miller, as
I'm not
chair.
the chair.
Well, the vice chair
Yes,
as chairman.
Support.
I would accept that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Well, I'd like to nominate Mr. Thomas as vice chair.
Support.
Accept.
Accept.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the other open position would
Thank
be
you.
secretary. And I'd like to nominate Ron Jaski for secretary.
Support.
If you'll have it.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We can move on to correspondence, Dana, any?
No correspondence.
I appreciate it. Item 7 is public comment on non-agenda related items. I'm assuming we have a few people here to discuss things that are not on the agenda. If you would like to do so, now is the time to do so. Also note that under old business, there are a couple items that have been postponed to the next meeting in February. One, the technical campus at 32 Mile and the Yates View Estates. If you'd like to comment on those because it's going to be postponed, we won't likely have a whole lot of comment session on that. It's just going to get postponed. If you'd like to comment on things concerning those, public comment would be the time to address that. So with that being said, we have a 3-minute time limit on your public comment. And also I have a public service announcement to make. Our high school students are here to do some work on their video, with their video program through the high school, and have a public service announcement to make.
Hello everyone, my name is Harper Savage. I'm from the Romeo High School Video Production Program, or our school news. We know a lot of you are here about the data center, and we would really love to get your comments about it out in the hallway from now until when we leave. We're not entirely sure when that is, but we will let you know when we head out. If you do not get the chance, we are online on Instagram, or you could post something in, hopefully, the Say No to Data Centers Facebook group, and we will try to reach out to you as fast as we can. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harper. Appreciate it. Nice to see our students involved in public service. This is good. So, that said, we can move forward with public comments. If anybody would like to come up, state their name and address for the record.
Yep. Hi, my name's Camille Allensworth. I live at 58172 Dulwich in Washington Township. I know that on the record, public comment is now closed on this issue unless Prologis files new information. However, I respectfully request that you consider allowing public comment to include what myself and others will share tonight. We shouldn't have 40 people commenting, but most of us only had 1 or 2 days lead time before the December 11th meeting, and there was no way we had time to understand this issue, nor Prologis' application. We've now had more time, and that's why we'd like to speak tonight to share new information. I'm asking you to slow down and protect the process because the record still is not complete. This is a 312-acre rezoning. That's not routine. A decision like this needs basic information on the record so the public and this commission aren't guessing. The township's own consultant reviews already point out missing pieces and unresolved issues, things like required impact information, traffic analysis, and just a clear decision about whether traffic is being waived, even basic utility mapping corrections. Those aren't small details. Those are the basics that you need to evaluate a rezoning properly. And here's what worries people. Big projects often come with document dumps right before the meeting. New studies, new claims, new charts. And if that happens here, the public and this commission need time to read and understand it. So my request is simple. Don't let this move forward on an incomplete record. If major new materials come in late, please continue the item to a later meeting. If something is being waived, say it clearly and explain why. We're asking for a careful, fair process because once this land is rezoned, the community has to live with the consequences for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Planning Commission. I'm formally asking you to consider these questions while making your decision after my statement. People keep hearing data center, technical campus, cutting edge industry, but under zoning rules, what exactly are these buzzwords? Is it clearly allowed in IRT? Is it treated like a special use that requires extra standards and findings? Does it require a text change to the zoning ordinance before it can even be reviewed the right way? These questions matter because the rules are different depending on how it's classified. As principal stakeholders, residents, and the community at large deserve to know what you're deciding to do now versus what is being pushed to later. I also want to make a point that often gets lost. Rezoning IRT is not approving one project. It's a long-term change. It allows a whole district of uses at a large scale for years into the future. Even if today's sales pitch is quiet, low impact, or technology based, the zoning change stays in place long after the story changes. Please remember these valid, applicable considerations and their impacts to the community and neighboring communities when making your recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, committee. My name is Vanessa Judich. My residence is at 31 Mile between Powell and Van Dyke, so it's directly across the street from the proposed site. So I have some things that I'm asking you tonight. So I'm asking you not to rezone the 312 acres based on promises and broad statements that's in the application from Prologis. The applicant's materials describe this land as ideal, free from environmental constraints, and even says that the project is isolated. Now, with my property right across the street from that, it clearly is not, with the absence of nearby residential homes. It's almost funny how Prologis tried to avoid using the word residential in this application. They leave out, when describing the future land use map, that this area is not an empty industrial island. There are homes nearby. My neighbors and I who live on Powell Road are proof that there are residents nearby. Okay, so this is, you know, really emotional for me. I'm trying not just to keep my composure. Washington Township is actively growing. We have township documents showing that the area to the east of this property are zoned residential. Washington Creek subdivision would be directly south of this property. That means the real context around the site includes families, neighbors, more housing already planned. There are 3 schools within 2 to 3 miles of this site. I'm not saying that automatically should decide the zoning, but I'm saying it matters. The proximity to Amanda Moore Romeo Middle School and Romeo High School makes this area desirable for families. And it should be part of the compatibility picture, and it shouldn't just be brushed to the side and not looked at all. Again, it's not that there are no neighbors like they're making it seem. When an applicant downplays residential context, it pushes decision makers toward the wrong conclusion. It makes it seem like there will be no conflicts, no consequences, but once the land is rezoned to IRT, it allows a lot more than one project. It impacts things for decades to come. If the applicant believes this is truly compatible, then the burden should be on them to prove that it's clear information and not just statements. The public should see an accurate map showing where homes and neighborhoods are and where new subdivisions have been approved and how the site relates to schools and surrounding developments. Case studies have shown that the constant noise and EMF radiation waves from the data centers can reach 2 to 3 mile radiuses from these facilities and really have big, huge negative health impacts. We have homes and schools nearby, so please don't move forward with this major rezoning just based on their marketing language. Make sure that the record reflects the real conditions on the ground and real evidence and not just the assumptions. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Danielle Barrett. I live on 28 Mile in Washington. Chair, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm submitting an exhibit titled Context Exhibit Aerial Visible Hydrologic Features for the record. This exhibit uses publicly available aerial imagery near the proposed rezoning site. It shows multiple ponds or basins, a vegetated corridor that may function as a drainway, and landscape patterns consistent with a golf course. This is not a wetland delineation or a regulatory determination. It's simply a visual aid showing why additional review is reasonable before a major rezoning. Under the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, zoning decisions must protect public health, safety, and welfare. That includes understanding environmental and drainage conditions before increasing a land use intensity. Here, the land history matters. The application describes the site as free from environmental constraints, but a large portion of this property operated as a golf course for 50 years. Golf courses were routinely treated with fertilizers and turf chemicals, including mercury-based fungicides that can persist in the soils. This does not prove contamination here, but it provides reasonable uncertainty, especially if the proposed zoning would bring deeper excavation, more utilities, more paving, and greater soil disturbance. The water features also matter. Water doesn't just disappear, right? It flows somewhere. If development alters the drainage patterns, increases impervious surfaces, or changes ponds and outlets, downstream properties can be affected. Because the MZEA requires zoning decisions to safeguard health, safety, and welfare, it is appropriate to confirm what these features are and how stormwater will be managed before making legislative zoning decisions. I understand the applicant may later submit a Phase 1 environmental assessment. Phase 1 is not testing. It's a largely record review, and if the township is going to rely on environmental due diligence, it should be more than a check in the box. Before any rezoning commission moves forward, I'm requesting 4 narrow procedural steps. 1, disclosure of any previous environmental studies, Phase 1 or 2, by any prior buyer, lender, owner, or the applicant. 2, if Phase 1 identifies concerns, require targeted Phase 2 sampling where golf course chemicals most commonly concentrate, like the greens and the tees, and former maintenance or storage areas. Number 3, professional wetland and water feature verification, including regulated drains and mapped stormwater outlets. 4, concept stormwater plan showing where the water will go and how downstream properties would be protected. I'm not asking you to assume a problem. I'm asking you to confirm the facts so that the township's decision is consistent with the MZEA. and supported by a complete defensible record. Please don't rezone first and investigate later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corinne Graper. I live at 66874 Dorothy Trail, Washington Township, Michigan. I want to talk about what we lose if we hand 312 acres over to a single project. This isn't just economic development. We've heard people say, oh, think about the tax revenue, but we don't know what that number is. It's a nice thing to say. There's no numbers behind it, right? And this is a massive long-term bet. If we rezone this whole area to IRT for one mega campus, we're putting a huge piece of the township's future into one basket. What happens if the project stalls mid-build, which has happened on other data centers when private equity firms and stock prices have dropped and lenders pull out? What happens if the customer changes, funding shifts, or the AI boom cools off? We can pretend that never happens, but we've seen it happen. There's a closed, ugly facility right across the street on 20 acres called the Romeo Ford engine plant that we can look at every time we drive by. That's only 20 acres. Think of what 312 acres is going to look like. When a big industrial promise ends, the town is left with the footprint. How much exactly would this create in tax revenue? Where are the costs that are going to be added to us? What about the declining home values that come in? Because people don't want to live in communities with data centers. These are things that we can't put numbers on tonight, and things like the impacts on neighborhoods and the reputation of our township. People want to live here. This is a great place to live. It is forever going to change the character and the reputation of our town. And here's the bigger point. Land is limited. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for 312 acres. A balanced plan, which you all helped facilitate, of commercial, where we need services, residential for our growing population where we need housing, and some IRT truly fits, and it spreads the risk out. It creates more jobs for our sector. One Meyer can create the same amount of jobs as a whole data center, right? And it serves the people who already live here and keep moving here. It's possible that all of that development, if it happens the way you all intended it for, will create the same tax revenue. This project comes with big unknowns and puts all of our eggs in one basket. Washington Township needs balance, not a gamble. Please do not rezone all of this land to IRT without clear answers and a plan that still works if this big bet doesn't. Thank you.
Sean Weber, 75508 Romeo Plank Road in Armada. I was quoted on Monday in the Romeo Post saying this, and I'm going to repeat it tonight for the official record. My opposition is rooted in infrastructure and environmental concerns, and this project poses a serious risk because it could potentially deplete the local aquifer and cause a crop failure in Armada Township. That's not just Armada Township, that's also our neighbors and our friends. That includes Romeo, Bruce Township, and Ray. I implore this commission to seriously consider the consequences of the water usage of a potential data center at this site in your decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am blessed to have enjoyed my childhood in this serene rural community. A piece of my heart stayed behind when I relocated for university, and I dreamt of the day that I could return and raise my family here. When my dream became a reality this summer, it quickly came crashing down when I learned that our home is within 5 minutes of the proposed AI data center, and I am not alone in this experience. Your decision is in the national spotlight as communities across the country are sounding the alarm against hyperscale AI data centers. Residents in their vicinity describe industrial noise for miles, severe light pollution, enormous water consumption, and health concerns from deteriorating air and water quality. In Cass County, a data center is terrorizing local residents 24/7 with noise averaging 70 decibels, equivalent of someone shouting through a megaphone in your front yard all day and all night. As for long-term viability, federal law currently paused AI regulation for 10 years. After that, regulations could change drastically. If this facility becomes obsolete or unprofitable, the township could be left with a massive industrial blight. Environmental activists in Flint, Michigan can speak to the true cost of corporate departure. local economies shattered, and communities left to deal with environmental hazards and decay left by abandoned automotive facilities. We also need to think about technology realistically. What once required room-sized mainframes can now fit on a flash drive. We must hold these companies accountable to innovate responsibly and efficiently instead of sending the message that we are okay with them siphoning residential resources and earmarking 15,000 acres of land for AI data center development nationally, and that's just for Prologis. And ironically, these projects are being advanced on largely speculative demand, while public interest in AI expansion is actually at an all-time low. We've seen very litigious precedent unfold across the country in communities that voted against rezoning, legal pressures of which their small towns did not even have the resources to contest, effectively forcing them to approve. So is this the kind of relationship that you even want to entertain? These predatory strategies target rural communities like ours, underscoring the need for proactive, enforceable safeguards and careful review of environmental and community impacts. You must exercise your legal and ethical duty to our town and create a record that is defensible, even if developers challenge it in court. And lastly, township officials are obligated to act independently, disclose conflicts, and make land use decisions solely in the best interest of residents. Kirk & Huth, the law firm representing Prologis, has made campaign contributions to Washington Township and Macomb County officials, which creates the appearance of influence and warrants heightened scrutiny. Residents are entitled to confidence that this decision is based on objective planning standards and the welfare of the community, not prior relationships or outside pressure. Anything less undermines public trust and demands further investigation. It would be hasty and irresponsible to approve this project. We have seen what's happened in other communities, and we don't need to repeat their mistakes. The country is watching, and this decision will be your legacy.
Good evening, Board. Rob Wing from 260 Church Street, just north of 32, just west of M53. I stand here tonight with not any notes at all, 0 notes. But I stand here with great recent experience. I'm a founding member of Green Space. We had a battle with the Romeo School Board to try to keep the middle school grounds a green space opportunity. We lost that battle, but I'm not here to talk about that, but I'm here to talk about transparency. Please give us complete transparency of what's happening. We need to know. Sometimes I think that the decision might already be made. Maybe it is. I really don't know. I hope it isn't. And it's critical that we do get total transparency, because if we don't, there's no reason that we're standing here and we're talking tonight. I have yet to hear a reason for the data center that short-term, long-term will help us. I have not heard anything yet. And it seemed, quite honestly, it seems so bloody obvious that there really is no real benefit. But as I stand up here tonight, everyone has talked about all the reasons that we don't want it, and I'm not going to go into that. As I said it at the onset, please give us total transparency of what's happening and support. That's all that we ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy Lesage, 67350 Powell. So obviously I live close by to this thing and am definitely opposed to it. I think as we saw like in Northville Township recently, that these new industries or seemingly new industries where these big things are coming in, they put a moratorium on it. And just because I think you guys need to be able to study it more to figure out what these things really do, what they represent, what has happened in other places. I believe Memphis, Tennessee has a real problem with their data center and that kind of stuff. The other part was it seemed to get to your desk and hit the agenda in a very quick fashion. And something seemingly that's this large, it represents a significant portion of the city land area. Should probably get delayed and just to make sure that everybody has a chance to understand what's going on. And the final thing is a question, I guess, more than anything. can the planning commission make a zoning conditional when the request was for basically unconditional? When they had changed it, they changed it from conditional to unconditional. And I don't know if you guys can do that or not. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, John Arlene, 5030 Cochrane Road, Almont. I spoke last time when I was here, and I think there was a lot of questions on my mind, so I dug in the last time that I spoke to try and seek to understand really what the benefits are versus the drawbacks. And I dug in, I did a lot of research. University of Michigan Science, Technology, and Public Safety created a lot of documentation, and it's readily available online, and I can give you this one. The biggest things that I discovered, though, is that it will definitely result in increased utility rates for every single person in all 3 counties around us. There's no doubt about that. It's scientifically proven. The other one is what the other folks have mentioned, is clarity and the ability for not only the township to understand and have clarity around what's going to happen, but the community. So what happens is that when these data centers come into town, the infrastructures do have to be upgraded. It's a necessity. There's no other work around it. So the benefit short term would be you would see some benefit of the infrastructure because we do have the poorest utility system in the United States, in Michigan, and in our community. So what will happen is that the data center will work with DTE, let them know that they have to increase the infrastructure. The data center will also buy electricity in bulk. The problem is that we don't know, you will never know how much they're paying for the utilities, but the utility company will invest in the infrastructure, but all the costs go down to us, the community. In Michigan, I can go there in a second, but the end result is the short term will be a 25% increase over 3 years to everybody's utilities. It's not even selective, it's just across the board. And this is from University of Michigan, not from me. So I dug through some more, the impact to the community, the water, the soil, all that good stuff like that. It's just hard because the folks that I work with found out somehow that I was here and I spoke, so they asked me to speak again. So I just wanted to do that. But the way in which they operate is because they're hiding behind a wall and we're not able to see behind that wall. So my ask is this. We're asking for transparency, but because this is such a big matter and it impacts so many people and so many communities, so many schools and districts, can this actually be put to a ballot? I know it's a crazy thought, but we should have the ability, not only you, I respect you guys, and there's a lot on your shoulders, but there's 3 communities around here, 3 counties around here that are going to get impacted. Could we please put this to the ballot? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Linda Whetstone. I live in Carriage Hills. So I'm not prepared. I don't have all these prepared notes. But I want to say how impressed I am with those of you who have prepared for this. For those of you who've handed information to you, ladies and gentlemen. And I have a couple questions. First of all, what information other than the builder do you receive? Other than from what you're hearing from these people, what do you look at when you make a decision?
I can't really comment on public comment. Public comment is just for you to speak. That said, we get the information that's in our packet. It's a public packet, and the public can see exactly what we're getting.
Okay, so if I were on the commission, I've been on many high-level commissions and different administrative projects in the past, just from this meeting alone, from this informational meeting alone, it would be a no. It would be a hard no for this community. I mean, that's what you guys have to look at. And I think you do, but I don't know. The transparency is an issue. One concern I have is that we've postponed it to February 12th, but then it says the public hearing is closed. What does that mean? And why?
I can get my okay. It's just informational. I'm not commenting on what's going on, but basically a public hearing for any land rezoning is held once we receive it. Everybody had that chance for public hearing. We had almost 2 hours of public comment, and we went through that. So now the only time, and once that gets closed at that meeting, the commission has a chance to vote. At the time, there was a lot of information. This commission thought it would be irresponsible to vote that night. We took that time to postpone it ourselves in December. Now, we are not asking for this postponement. The applicant is, and they have the right to do so. We have a couple postponements on tonight. So that's ultimately what that is.
Okay.
We will entertain things in February as long as it is on the agenda at that time. The public comment will be reopened if there are changes asked for by the applicant. If there are no changes asked for by the applicant. New information, I should say. If there's new information provided, the public comment will be opened on the new information only. So that'll open it back up for the public to comment on that.
Okay, so, and then the other thing I just wanted to reiterate is that they want to change this from agricultural residential, agricultural residential, agricultural residential. Washington Township is so unique and so beautiful, and if this goes through, that's going to go right in the shithole. It just is. People will sell their houses who are nearby. Our home values will decline. We have a reputation, a beautiful reputation. Many of us have moved from Sterling Heights and Warren and Clinton Township to come here. We're here for a reason. For years, we've been here. We've raised our family. The one young woman came back here only to find out that her dream of raising her family and experiencing the same thing that she grew up with is going to go away. It's going to go away. It will go away. Everything will change. You've heard some fabulous, fabulous comments here. I couldn't even get into the meeting last time. I couldn't get in. So you guys have got so much information. You have to take care of your community. That's why you're here, to take care of us, not Propolis or whoever else, to take care of us and our families and our whole township.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you so much.
Good evening, Board. My name is Gwen Allen. I live on 27 Mile Road, 13205. I have no agenda here. I just want to say that I oppose the center that you want to put up. There has been much documentation on this, and there's no need to repeat. I just want to ask you, with your heart, and really think hard on this, and the people that came out and made their voices known to this, okay? And I appreciate all the work that our township is doing. It is a beautiful place, and I agree with that one gentleman mentioned about putting it on a ballot. I think that would be a good idea. So again, thank you, and I hope you would just listen to it real hard to what we have to say. Thank you.
Appreciate your comments.
Hello, everybody. Chris Judich. I'm at 31 Mile in Powell. Everybody else had a lot of great information. I'm not going to, hit on that. I just want to give everyone else kind of a quick, glimpse of my experience, right? When I actually read through their application, it was pretty insulting, honestly, just what they were saying about this being, exclusive, industrial, a perfect zone, when I'm literally 500 yards away from the property line. I mean, I was just fuming at as I read it. Not to mention, the property directly south of it just got approved for a residential subdivision and a condominium complex. So how are they saying this is, exclusive industrial when I can throw a football and hit their complex? I mean, I just want to get this out in the open. Especially, they asked to waive environmental studies, get the rezoning without that. Okay, How is that possible? Me, I had wetlands on my property when I bought it. I had to get a wetland delineation. I had to get lawyers involved. It took me 2 years to restore wetlands. 2 years of work. And I'm one person. How is a company of this magnitude able to waive any type of environmental impact without, just say, hey, can you waive this study, when if you actually go to michigan.gov, you can go to Eagle's website. They control the wetlands. You can look at their aerial map. It'll show all the areas where it has forested wetlands. And guess what? It's all over that property. It's all over that parcel. So all you have to do is request, hey, we want a wetland delineation to know what exactly is wetlands. Why should they forego that cost when one person, has to pay all that money to do that? I mean, that's not fair at all. So I just want people to understand kind of how this game is played. And it's just really, I was getting so worked up reading their actual application because it's, clearly very misleading, and it sounds very good, but it's completely false. With that, with all the legal counsel we have, who do we go through to make sure they have to go through the same hoops that I had to go through as one single person? I mean,
They will.
Okay,
They
so
would.
I just want to make sure they do, because I said, I lost many nights. I have a lot of gray hair now. I didn't have gray hair before.
Engineering standards are there for a reason, and we
Right.
follow engineering standards
Okay.
across the board.
Okay, yeah, and I know that'll be done. I just want to know, is that a good idea to let them get a rezoning without that wetland delineation being done first? Because I couldn't even get a site plan approved without having a wetland delineation, correcting wetlands from a previous property owner, mind you. It took me 2 years to fix that from a previous property owner. I couldn't get a site plan approval, then I went through many more things. But I just want to make sure that they have to deal with the same thing that I have to deal with as one single person. So I just want our legal counsel to be able to really, say, hey, we like your idea, but here's what you have to do, especially when it comes to the environmental impact. Because for me, I know what it took to do, to do that, and they need to go through that same process, so it's a fair playing field.
Thank you,
And that's pretty
appreciate
much
that.
it.
Good evening, Board. My name is Alex Portel. I'm actually from Shelby Township, but my grandmother lives in Washington Township, so I'd like to speak on her behalf. So I have no plan myself. I just have just a bunch of ideas to talk about. I understand I can't ask any questions, so I'll phrase them differently. So I'd like to speak upon the exponential function. Now, I don't really remember much math from school, but it's a curve that goes straight up. And we kind of treat our economy like that through the finance sector. And we think that this data center is, forgive me, this data center, I believe, is just speculative, as other people have said. Exponential function could be, examples could include, our road infrastructure. When you don't have enough taxpayer base, those road infrastructure just suffers because we don't have enough people to pay for that stuff. We have to keep growing outward. We have to have more subdivisions. So that's one point. This data center has no tangible product output. It's not going to be manufacturing Ford engines. It's going to be manufacturing something virtual. It's going to be running software, and it's going to be running artificial intelligence, most likely, or supporting other cloud infrastructure. And that artificial intelligence is used by a lot of things. Now, this is tangential, and I mentioned this last time, but is anybody familiar with the flock cameras? If I may ask, are you guys familiar with flock cameras? Those are owned by a private company, and our law enforcement rents out the equipment and rents out the data. And there is a YouTube channel called, person named Ben Jordan, Ben Jordan, who covered it, how they are hackable, and that there are resources where the average person could use them. A technical term would be called script kiddies, but I don't believe you would know that. I have a lot of questions I'd love to be able to ask, but I understand we don't have much time, and it's not for the, this is not the time for that. So I just wanted to just highlight just that we're living in a surveillance state, and I've been living at it practically my entire life, and these young people who are from Romeo High School have their entire lives, and I don't want to see that continue. I think we should not have a data center. We should not have the flock cameras. We should return to what we had pre-9/11. Goodness, I wish I had more time. Thank you.
I actually think that point is not driven home hard enough.
Yes.
We talk about the environment, which is critical, but the reason they're building these data centers.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry, if you want your 3 minutes, you got to come up, let him finish his.
So I guess I'll say one last thing. So our economy is mostly financial. It's mostly fake. Our dollar is fake. Our dollar is backed by debt, the petrodollar. This dollar has been a debt-based currency since 1913. What?
I apologize, but your 3 minutes is.
Oh, well, she did speak over me, so I
You
could
got
have 10
5
seconds.
extra.
Well, we used to have money-back currency, and we didn't, and John F. Kennedy instituted that, and, well, he died after that was instituted. So this is all speculative. This is subsidized by the government. This is no good. This is not going to benefit us. Thank you. Apologies for my
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
collegiate. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. My name is Chris Newman. I live at 64302 Windsor Drive. I just want to let everybody know that just looking at it and being an uneducated person in the way that this is going, that parcel is the prevailing wind direction for our whole community. I mean, I don't think anybody realizes just where it's put. That is the worst place possible. Any fallout from that, our weather always comes from the west, usually from the northwest. That's why we love the snow that we have here in Michigan. So any kind of exhaust from those diesel generators that they're testing all the time to make sure that they work in case there's a power outage, which there's not supposed to be because they picked the high power lines to align their company with. I mean, it's very blatant to see why they picked the area there. But that foreshadows our whole community. And I don't know how passionate we have to be about this to say no. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Lou from Timber Mill. Oh, the data just changed. Oh, the data centers just changed. Because at a blink of an eye, all of the data and stuff that we have, the electronics, can change in a second. Your phones that you buy, you walk out the store, they're already obsolete. You know, what I've read before is that these data centers, after a while, they become obsolete. And there's stuff that they would have to put more money into, and a lot of them just walk away without having to do any more updates to these data centers, leaving the townships, cities, and areas that they invade with a hulk of a building that they have to do something with. I don't think we really want something like another Romeo engine plant that actually provided a good income for a lot of people around here. And this data center is going to impact 5 communities. 5 communities, not just one, not just 2, 5 communities. So what happens if we rezone 312 acres and all of a sudden the the technology has changed, just like become obsolete? Now we need to go to a smaller building or a smaller building after that. Then what happens? We have to revisit this over and over and over again. These people are educated. The people that were here on December 11th, educated. And I'm not accusing you guys or anybody else, but a lot of times, people that make the decisions above the common man will just figure, screw it. They don't like it, they'll leave. We'll get the uneducated to come in and fill in their homes because they're going to sell. We'll just get somebody else to move in their house. Don't really care. And that's sometimes how some of us feel, that our voices aren't heard, things move through, and people above us don't give a dang. And we'd like to know for a fact, all these people would like to know for a fact, that you guys give a damn about our voices and what we have to say. And it's not about the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar makes everything click. I get that. And it doesn't matter who's in charge, who the administration is, it doesn't matter. But the almighty dollar makes things click. And you can buy a lot of influence and a lot of stuff with a few dollars, because there's a lot of people that'll trip over a penny or a dollar to pick up a penny because they don't know what's the real value. But we want to know for sure that you guys are listening to us, the educated, because we care enough to take time out of our days and our nights and whatever and look up the information. That there's a lot of great information that I didn't even know about. And we want to know that you guys are listening to us, and that Prologis, a multi-billion-dollar company, is not going to have more influence than the people that it's going to affect. 5 communities in this little area. And if anybody from Prologis is listening to this, I used to live over by City Airport in Detroit, 6 Mile and Van Dyke, and there is a lot of area over there that's empty. Go build the damn thing there, not here.
We have further comment? Figured.
You know, and for the record, we're all residents of Washington Township as well. So we love our community.
Good evening. Thank you for at least listening to all the people that, came tonight and tried to keep appealing to you. One of my questions would be, obviously, you are also residents of this community. I live at 7870 Firestone Lane off of Campground and 28. I think I was here when you were considering whether the Gallo should build on the corner of 27 and Van Dyke, and I was so happy that did not go through. I really felt that you had listened to everybody and how that was not a good location for him to build right in that area. I'm hoping that in looking at all of you, that you've been long time. I've been here 30 years. I moved out here before there was anything on 26 Mile. And I have welcomed those companies and businesses that have come in that still keep our community small and rural, and that is why we are out here, and that is why we love it. It's farmland, it's orchards, it's breathable, open space, and it just, to me, doesn't make any sense that an AI center has to move into this community at all. And I'm hoping that all of you are really thinking the same thing, really, because you have families here, grandkids here, and the same thing. It is very emotional when you think about it, to all the things that this group of people keep conveying, because I was here at the last meeting, and I think it was after the December 11th meeting. I didn't even know about that meeting. You talk about we had time to talk, but that did not get posted. It was not, I didn't get any notification. I get notification on almost every water bill. Every month we get something in the mail with that water bill. Why wasn't that sent out for 4 months beforehand, or a month or 2? Why did we get notification 3 hours before that meeting? And then, now we have to have a closed sessions and no questions and no, but these people have taken the time to do research and convey to you how important it is that you do your due diligence for us, because we want to maintain this community. We want it small. We don't want it, we want it the way it's always been. And I've been, oh shoot, I think I lost it. But I just really hope deep down that you are strong enough and feel the same way I do, and feel the same way that I would say 98% of our community feels.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
I wish I was elected. That has some reason to be upset.
Carlos Pisano, 58172 Dulwich. Just have an announcement for the community. There will be a rally to voice your opposition to the data center on January 25th at 1 p.m. It's going to be 26 Mile on the overpass. over M53. So if you want to join, get your voice heard, be there. There's information possibly on Facebook that you can find out. So let's keep working together to get what we all want. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.
Over 26 miles, overpass.
I didn't use all my time, and I forgot to say something. So I would just like to ask, thank you all for all that you are doing. I understand you're with the community, and you're part of the community, I should say. One of the things that's critical for us to stop this is to get involved in sustained community involvement. Developers will walk away when they believe that there's an uphill battle, right? So we need to show that as residents that we're engaged, that we're going to the rally, that we're showing up at meetings, and that we're speaking up. Another critical way is through our legal counsel and our legal process. So this is to the legal counsel. Please be proactive. Start to think through, is there a data moratorium that should be in place, and when should that be? When's the right time for that, if that's a possibility? I just ask that you scenario plan every single scenario and every solution so that you protect our town. And when Saline Township, it came down to the attorneys. Saline's planning committee and trustees both denied it. 2 days later, they got sued. Facing a $50 million lawsuit, they got scared. And their township attorney advised them to negotiate with the firm, which included them reversing their decision and approving the data center. So that's a real possibility here, and we need to be working on it right now. So that's my hope for you. Please protect our town.
Thank you. There's the one question I haven't heard yet. One question I haven't heard yet. If we
Hi, my name is Louis DiVirgilio. I grew up in this community my entire life, and I just always loved how this was, it was like a Hallmark movie, really. Absolutely loved this community, loved everything about my childhood, and it just breaks my heart to see what's already happened here. I can't speak to the technicalities of why our community has changed so much, but I used to work in developing, and I've just seen this community change over time, where it just seems like we've allowed a lot of builders to come in, and there's been no infrastructure that has really been speakable to offset all of this traffic. Not in my opinion anyways. You can drive down the road, not even close to rush hour, and it's all backed up. And I think anybody I talk to feels the same way. We watch this completely change, and I feel like we've been overrun by large builders. And I guess that's besides the point. I guess moving forward with this data center, this is a much larger thing. When you look at the powers that be and where this is all heading, does anybody feel like our technology has helped us out in the end? Is our kids' lives any better? It's made all of our lives, in my opinion, way worse than it ever could have. Any benefit that we might get is offset by, all the negative effects. And I just see, the powers that be building a machine. And this will be the final nail in the coffin for the United States. And this is there's trillions of dollars that are being pushed behind this. And we all know what kind of influence that can buy, and how it can ram things through without getting the due diligence. Once they lay this out, and all they got to do is turn the key on. We live in a dystopian hell already, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I see cameras everywhere I go. And I don't think it's made us any safer. If anything, things are more unhinged. And I just really worry about down the road. You guys are the vanguard. You guys are the final, guard for us. And I've seen you guys make really good decisions in the past, and you have fought the good fight. And I thank you for that. I've sat in meetings in here, and you guys have done right by our community. And I just hope that I pray, and I think we all need to pray for these people, because there is a lot of power behind this that you guys are getting. I'm sure you're getting pressure, and we pray for you. I just hope that you can find the strength to do what you have to do within your means to try and push back on this as much as possible. I'm sure you guys don't want this either. I'm certain of that. You guys all live in the community, but I'm so afraid what will happen, and I can't believe how quickly this is getting pushed around the United States. I mean, there are executive orders that went through, and overnight, boom, it's here. I mean, I can speak to my family just wanting to put a pole barn on their property. The hoops we had to go through to put a pole barn up. You would have thought that we were putting a data center up, and then to think, and I'm not at all, dispersing any ill upon you guys. I can only imagine what you're up against. But it was like, boom, all of a sudden it's on the agenda. We all would have prepared more. And but please, I pray, just do what you got to do. Do the right thing. Do your conscience. You
Appreciate
guys
your
are literally.
comments, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Goodell. I live in Ray Township. And it's kind of funny because it only took us like 6 minutes to get here, right? We have so many communities that are surrounding this facility. And I wasn't planning on saying anything. And I think everybody's kind of really inspired me. And I know you guys have lots of opinions, and it's really awesome. I just want to kind of reflect on the different corporate special interests that have kind of come into Michigan, drained natural resources without really thinking about the scars, what will happen, future generations, ecological impacts, and impact to the rest of the community. You can think of companies like Nestle, which came and drained entire aquifers, and out of that you had sinkholes, property damage, all kinds of things. Data centers use a tremendous amount of water, unless you guys can write some legislation to prohibit the use of it. Used a closed loop water system, so I'm an engineer. On the scale of 320, I think, megawatts, it's an insane amount of water to cool down 320 megawatts. I don't even know if you can fathom that. Your household maybe will use 40 at one time. And you can think 40 kilowatts. 320 is orders of magnitude larger than that. So if you think of you're running your water heater and you have everybody's water heater and you're all turning those on, everybody you know, that's how much water, how much heat you're generating. And that heat has to go somewhere. So you have to use that water, the cool water, from somewhere in order to cool that down. And also this mic has, you guys have gain? Can we turn this up? All right. So just as a mathematical problem, the heat that you put out from cooling that into the atmosphere, and like you said, somebody said it's all downwind, right? So you're going to generate a microclimate probably with such a tremendous amount of heat. I mean, there's got to be some legislation and forethought that goes into these kind of different topics. And I would just strongly urge, if you do think about putting this through, there needs to be a way to safeguard these going forward. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Comfer, and I live at 11319 35 Mile Road in Bruce Township. And I just want to say that I am against this, and I've been attending the meetings. And I just, from my personal perspective, is I grew up in northern Michigan, and it's very beautiful. And as an adult, I moved to Harrison Township with my family. And when it came time to purchase a home, I did a lot of research, and I decided on Romeo. And we found our home in Bruce Township, and I think even in the listing for the house, it said, feel like you're up north. And so I don't want this to change. What we have is special, like everybody else has been saying. And I mean, it's just, when you look around, like we have the farmlands, we have the wetlands, and I just think that that is beautiful too, not just, the lakes. And then what I'm also concerned with is the fact that with our electricity, DTE is our only provider. We don't have a choice. And I don't want my bill to go up. And I don't think anybody else does. I mean, even if it goes up a couple hundred, I mean, how many of us have that and how many of us want to do that? And I also get concerned with the number of proposed data centers here in Michigan, and I get concerned with the water. So I just don't even know, I'm not an expert, but I don't even know, like, can Michigan even support all of these if it takes this much? So that's just what I want to say. If you guys have the ability to put a stop to this, then I would just ask that you consider all the communities that are affected by it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any further comment from the public? No worries.
Good evening. I'm pretty terrified to be up here, but I'm also pretty terrified of a data center coming in. Thank you for everybody for speaking on all the big categories. But one, I'm an occupational therapist by trade, and my life is about making people's quality of life better. And a huge thing with this data center is it's going to affect people's quality of life. You know, the diagnoses for cancer and respiratory issues are going to skyrocket. We're just going to see a lot of debility. And I'll always be there to help people, but what if I go down too? My name is Holly Bishop, sorry. I live off of Powell. I came here to live the dream, right? Moved from Sterling Heights, come on out here, it's so magical. This is the hallmark. We have the orchards, we want to keep all of this beautiful land. We have our beautiful flowers and all the animals grazing. With these data centers, they're going to emit toxins. Our water is going to be tainted, and we're going to be affected daily. I watch kids outside, and it's so rejuvenating, right? I'm from the city or the hood, some people call it, but I don't see kids outside ever. Here, they're all over the place. And how responsible is it knowing that the air quality is bad, sending our kids out and saying, okay, have fun, we'll see you later. They'll come in with respiratory issues. I just can't sleep at night knowing how fast all this stuff went and trying to gather my thoughts and make it a point that we have to look out for each other. We are good Samaritans. We are helpers and all about unity in this township. And we don't hurt each other. We don't poison each other. We know what these data centers are going to do. I truly am terrified. But I hope the best for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a little bit nervous. My name is Kimberly Siles. I live on Brook Drive in Romeo. And like the previous speaker said, I grew up in Sterling Heights, and I marched in the Peach Parade every year, and I have always wanted to live in Romeo. My husband is from New Orleans, and he did not understand why I wanted to live out here so bad until we moved out here. And he loves it out here. I love it out here. And I've seen a lot of change in the almost 10 years that we've been here. Some of it has not been so great. Some of it has been. But I truly believe that this data center is not in our best interest. One thing that really concerns me is the usage of the amount of water that these centers use, and especially one of this magnitude, but also the pollutants that go into the water from these centers. Romeo's water is already not so great. We have a village well. The water's kind of gross. We can't drink it. It comes into our house. It gets filtered 3 times, and it still tastes terrible. I buy bottled water for my animals because I don't want them to drink that water. So I know you live in this community too, and I know you don't want to see the negatives that will occur if we approve this. And so I just want to, just implore you, think about your family, your neighbors, your community, and, just do everything that you can to stop this. Because, like people have said, if this goes through, I'm sure there will be
maybe not so much a mass exodus, but there will be an exodus of residents. I know my husband and I have discussed, if this goes through, moving. And that would break my heart, because I love living in Romeo. So that's really all I wanted to say.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Sandra Han, and I live in Romeo. I am against the data center, and I am more and more against it as I learn about a lot of things that have been stated here about the power grid, the water, and then today, the Harvard Business Review just put out a site after looking at data centers at the health concerns that have been brought up in areas that have a data center. So, I'm more concerned. I'm all for business, but I am more concerned. 3 separate places, individuals own that property now. I have questions if this does go through, like a lot of businesses. They get their taxes delayed, tax abatements. Will they get a tax abatement? Number one. Number two, the most that the data centers will hire is 40 people. If the other 3 businesses went in, think of the job opportunities for this area. So those are some concerns I have. The other thing is, and I know I've been on commissions, I'm on board of directors, I don't know what the planning commission's rules and what they look at. But y'all live here. Is there a responsibility of looking at your area and going, wow, look at the new health center that's going up. Look at that. Is that something you want to bring into the area? Because you all know you bring in things like this, it's going to determine what else is going to move here also or want to move here. So there's a lot on your shoulders. There's a lot to think about. But the end for me today was the Harvard Business Review about the health of the individuals that in some ways the Planning Commission has a responsibility for when they approve data centers or any other business that would actually hurt the residents' health. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick comments. They won't take 3 minutes. One, Danielle Barrett, 28 Mile. There is a common misconception on closed-loop cooling. It's not constantly recycling the same water. It's drawing tens of thousands of gallons per day. I can't recall from the December meeting if the water will be supplied by GLWA only or including Romeo water.
No, Romeo.
Okay, that's great, because Romeo water is already 3.2 times higher the recommended guidelines for nitrates, and if any groundwater is pulled, that will make it worse. The second is a point Mrs. Judich made. I wanted to expand on. The 3 schools within 2 miles are the Romeo Middle School, Amanda Moore, and Croswell Early Childhood Center. And Croswell is where Romeo houses the state-funded GSRP program, and also a lot of early intervention for special needs students. And within those 3 schools, that's 2,000 students that would be exposed to 85 to 90 A-weighted decibels. Our current IRT for the township only allows up to 70. Hyperscale data centers give off 85 to 90. So those are just a couple more things I wanted you to consider. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on from public comment and on to the rest of our agenda for the evening. Thank you all for taking the time out of your night to come here. We do appreciate all of your comments. We're on to new business.
Barry, before we move on, I just wanted to make a quick comment. And I just wanted to thank everybody that came out tonight. And in particular, I know a lot of you have been watching the news and doing a lot of learning these data centers. And I don't want to speak about that, but what I wanted to thank you for was the civility tonight. I look around and I see these meetings and they're devolving into chaos. And I appreciate that everybody here is maintaining their composure and acting in a civil manner. It gives us, a lot of comfort, and it makes it easier for us to do our jobs. So thank you for that. Thank you. Well said.
Yeah, obviously, this item is not on the agenda this evening, other than for postponement, and we can't comment towards that. But the last meeting was quite contentious, and I think a lot of it was how quickly it came on, and I do appreciate you guys have obviously regrouped, understand that we're here to do a job, and we will take in all things into consideration in making those decisions, and we're not taking what you say lightly. So,
if I may, I'd like to congratulate you folks. Many of the other folks that were here last meeting also, from the standpoint of your knowledge. And I'll be honest with you, I've learned a lot from you folks, because we, like anyone else, we're members of the, what would you call it, Washington Township body, the public. And I know that everyone has the best interest, at least we do, and I'm sure you do, of the people that live here and will live here, and someday will live a little bit later into life. But the truth is, as I say, I was surprised. I spoke to my wife. I said, it may have been a little rough, but I'll tell you, these folks knew what they were talking about in many, many cases. So our congratulations. A lot of times you get into these meetings and you spin your wheels, because a lot of the stuff is just baloney. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Well said, Ron.
All right, we're going to move forward. New business, Vernon Grove, Clifton Farms. It's up for, I'm sorry, I lost my paperwork.
I think that's postponed, no?
No, we are on new business.
Oh,
new business, Clifton Farms, public hearing for a proposed PUD amendments for parcels 24, 04, 34, 200, 017, and 018 on the southwest corner of 27 and Jewel Road, part of the Clifton Corners PUD that was approved in 2022, I believe. Is someone here from the applicant? Please.
Good evening, Greg Winningline with Lombardo Homes. With your permission, can one of my associates hand out a copy of the PowerPoint that we have?
Absolutely.
Okay. Like to do that in case we have a technology issue, easier, maybe if you want to do some note taking or whatever. While she's doing that, I'd also like to recognize the folks that spoke tonight. I go to a lot of public meetings, and oftentimes, being the bad developer, I'm on the receiving end of a lot of the comments, and you guys were super respectful, very knowledgeable, and kudos to all of you. So again, Greg Winningland with Lombardo Homes. We're here tonight to ask for consideration for a major change to the Clifton Corners PUD. With me tonight is Aubrey Merheb and Charlie Stapleton from our land development team as well. And if my plan to retire comes to fruition, you're going to be seeing those guys much more than me, but so far Anthony's got other discussions. Anyway, if you'll give me about 10 minutes, I'll go through this, hopefully address concerns, questions you may have. My new best friend, Nico, has offered to help me advance the slides. So if you would go to the next one, that would be great. Just a very quick refresher on the site, 27 and Jewel, the northeast corner, Clifton Orchards, the Vernon Grove estates that you see. I think that's an agenda item later tonight that's been requested to table. We don't own or control that property, but the other three components Lombardo does. Specifically, what we're talking about tonight is the Vernon Grove
I'm sorry,
ranch.
you got that backwards, I think. You said Vernon Grove is the one you're talking about tonight. Yates is the one that's on.
Yates View, we do not own or control.
Right, you
Yes.
had it flipped.
Okay, Vernon Grove is what we're here to talk about tonight, the ranch-style apartment units. And we're looking to hopefully do phase one this year and get occupancy the end of this year. So, Nico, if you would. So we had made a request for several amendments to the PUD agreement. This has come about based on, during our engineering review and some other challenges that we had in that. We were, in November, we attended a planning meeting here, and the advisory committee felt it was within their purview to grant all the ones on the left. I'm not going to go through them. Those are mostly minor ones, technical ones. They felt it was in their purview to do the approval administratively of those. The one item that they did not feel was under their purview or scope was the elimination of the outdoor pool. There was not objection to it, strong objection to it. At one point, there was even a motion by the committee to approve everything. Then there was some ongoing discussion, and it was decided, you know what, maybe we ought to take the pool part of it to the Planning Commission. Therefore, that's why we're here tonight. Nico, if you would. So what we're asking to do is eliminate the previously proposed swimming pool. It was an outdoor swimming pool. And we would like to add a couple different amenities and enhance some amenities that we were previously going to include. One of them is a golf simulator. The demographic for the ranch-style apartment that we're building, they're 2-bedroom apartments with a 2-car garage. They're all ranch. They're really, even though they're not age-restricted, they're very conducive to active seniors, empty nesters, whatever terminology you want to do. There aren't many kids there. We'll get a couple of young professionals maybe starting out in their careers, things like that. But for the most part, it's going to be an empty nester, active senior type community. They are not going to utilize a swimming pool to any great extent. The golf simulator is a huge thing with the golfing community. It gives year-round use. It's very popular, and again, much better aligned with our demographic. Nico, thank you. Additionally, we're going to add a dog park. I'll give you a couple dog statistics here in a minute or two, but we'll add an outdoor dog park with several activity stations. It's also double gated to provide for the safety of the dogs coming and going and so on. We already plan to include a dog washing station. The change that we've made is we've made it free to our residents. We've also given it year-round and 24-hour access. We partition off part of the clubhouse so that the residents can have 24-hour access to it. Nico, thank you. Another item that we've learned over the last couple of years of doing the ranch product is our demographic loves to gather. They love gathering spaces. They love quiet gathering spaces. So as you can see by the rendering up there, we're providing extensive outdoor gathering area. It's not quite year-round use in Michigan, but we can go into November. We can start as early as maybe March and have some gathering, the fire pit, the barbecue, things like that. So even though it's not year-round amenity, it's close to it. Go ahead. The other thing that we've enhanced, again, going to the 24/7 access for an indoor yoga studio and a fitness center. In our other communities, we had restricted the access to those to basically daytime hours, things like that. The way we can partition our clubhouse now, they can have outside entry just to those facilities and have them available 24/7. Go ahead, thank you. Business center, we've included free Wi-Fi. We've added printer access. They can use that. It's not quite 24/7, but they can make arrangements to use it late into the evening if they want. With the propensity for remote work, stay-at-home work, things like that, these have become very popular. You don't need to stay in your apartment and do the work. You can actually go to more of a business setting in that. Go ahead. And then on the left shows the currently approved configuration of the clubhouse and the pool to the north of it, and then the 20 parking spaces to the south of it. On the right is what we're proposing, the clubhouse. It shows kind of the outline of the outdoor gathering area, shows the dog park to the south and 10 parking spaces to the north, 10 parking spaces along the road. So we still have the same parking. As I mentioned, the swimming pool, the outdoor pool, it doesn't match the demographic. It's something that we've learned over the last few years of building this ranch product. The pool has a 3-month use because it's not a private single ownership swimming pool like in your backyard. It's regulated by the state. We can't open before Memorial Day. We can't be open longer than Labor Day. So we've really got that 3-month and 2-week window that it's available. So we have learned a lot. What we've learned, yeah, please go ahead, thank you. What we've learned is our residents want these amenities. They want the gathering spaces. They want the quiet lifestyle. They want the year-round activities or the near year-round activities. They don't want the swimming pool. Go ahead. So some objections that we've heard. We heard that originally the Clifton Corners PUD was narrowly approved, and it was heavily emphasized that the swimming pool was a big part of that. Actually, on January 19th, it was approved 5-2 in favor, and something that was very unusual is we actually had 2 residents get up and speak in favor of it, which we never get. You know, obviously we get a bunch of residents that will speak passionately opposed to it, and certainly we respect and understand that. It's very, very seldom that we get residents that get up and speak in favor of it. We had 2 residents at that meeting actually get up and encourage the board to adopt it. And the pool itself was not so much the emphasis as it was the recreational, the usable recreational amenities. So we think we've addressed that. There was a comment that the dog park is undersized. It is undersized from what is nationally recommended. We do have the ability to probably increase that size a little bit. Apparently 45.5% of national households are dog owners. You got one right here, myself. And in our ranch communities, Everly of Macomb and Insignia in Independence Township, right now we have 28% and 34% respectively have dog ownership. So it's significantly less than what the national average is. Again, we can increase the size of that to a certain amount. We can work and do that. The demand for the aquatic feature in the township's recreational master plan was referenced. I took a look at that. I'm absolutely not a statistician, but in looking at it, it seemed like it was for a swimming pool and a splash pad. That typically lends itself to families with children, family swimming pool, things like that. Our seniors, the only pool the seniors would want is an indoor pool where they can do some aquatic exercises and things like that. An outdoor pool is not an amenity that they're looking to embrace. Kayla did a fantastic job of doing a review. It was a very objective review and very informative. One of the comments that was in it, and I added the underlining for emphasis, but on page 4 of the review, it said we have no objections to the request, but provide several considerations, and some of those considerations were on the left that we've addressed. Go ahead. So tonight, we're very respectfully asking for your recommendation to the board. If I understand the process properly, it would be a recommendation to the board. We're requesting that to eliminate the outdoor pool based on its minimal use, doesn't fit with our demographic. The multiple amenities that we are providing, we think more than offsets the loss of the pool. And with that, I would be happy to entertain any questions that you may have.
I'll start. I disagree. We spent 2 years on this project, and you started with something that was absolutely trash.
Absolutely.
And then you moved it to a better, an acceptable level, which was, in my opinion, barely. Every meeting you would come back and you would take one little thing, and we would get inch by inch closer to something that we would buy. And we barely passed that. I'm not good with a change to a thing on this. I'm not willing to move on what we did. Right now, we had a 3,600 square foot clubhouse. Now now it's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to put more things in that clubhouse? That makes no sense. I mean, if your residents need an indoor pool, build them an indoor pool. I mean, you use that dog area and put an indoor pool in if it's that big of a deal to you to do a good thing for your residents. Getting rid of the outdoor pool, which was part of the plan that we barely approved, I'm not good with that. So I'm just one vote.
Yep.
You're welcome to talk to the others, but I think it's a slap in the face that we're back here talking about this again. We beat this horse 2 years over.
Compromised on building materials.
I'm a no.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't here at the time, which gives me a set of fresh eyes on it, which is good. But I've seen the comments that our supervisor made regarding it. I've listened to the other commission members here. Can you scroll back to the slide that had the layout of the two options, the pool and the?
Yep, that was it.
Right there. So the first one is the old version that you had submitted with the pool, and the second one is the newer one with the dog park.
Correct.
Yeah, again, approaching this with some new eyes, I'm looking at it, and the densities, I think that was one of the things that people discussed a lot at the time, too, was the density of these projects, and it still is beyond me how they got approved at these densities in this area. But given that, it's something that I've always had an issue with. I'm looking at those lots right there, 21 and 20. Simply removing those two would give you the opportunity to put in a pool, indoor pool if you want, a patio, a dog park, all of those amenities. You've got the space for it. It's just simply a change in the plan to eliminate 1 or 2 units to add extra parking and the extra amenities that you say you want. I'm a pool guy. I have a pool in my house. I have friends who live in the villages. Now, I'm not comparing Florida to Michigan, but I see a lot of seniors who love their pools, me being one right now. So I tend to agree with the idea that if you wanted to upgrade and add more amenities, I would be in support of that. But I can't see taking away a major amenity and then replacing it with an undersized dog park and a golf simulator. I like dogs, I'm concerned for dogs, but if we were building a proper dog park, that might be a different story also. So I'm disinclined to approve a change on this magnitude. If you want to reconsider the plans, I'd be willing to look at that with a fresh set of eyes also. But as this is submitted, I'm not a fan of it.
No, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you're doing one tiny little portion of this PUD. This PUD was approved globally with all the properties across the street. Yates coming in more dense than we ever wanted it to be. And we gave on those things because you were going to do these things. And now you're backing out on them. I'm not, it's just, that's to me, it's a slap in the face. So it is what it is. I'd like to open the public comment. If somebody would entertain, I'll entertain a motion to open the public comment.
Motion to open public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion open. Public hearing is now open.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's me again, Lou Timbermill. I'm right across the street from this place. I'm the HOA president for 288 units, another Lombardo property. Number 20 there is a parking lot. No parking lot over there. Clubhouse still remains. Where are those people going to park? If you put a dog park in there and whatever, there's nowhere for parking. The biggest issue I have is with where I'm at, is I don't have parking. I got 16 units, and I'm lucky if I got 9 visitor parking spots for 16 units. That's always an issue. Every holiday, people are complaining. I can't park here, I can't have people over there. It's an issue. I'm with him. Eliminate 2 of your houses. I know it's going to get away about $1 million of Lombardo money, but eliminate those 2, make that whole area bigger, and you can put all what you got in there. I kind of disagree with Barry a little bit that he would like to leave the pool. An outdoor pool is a liability. It's a pain in the butt. Michigan's not conducive for an outdoor pool. Ask anybody that owns an in-ground pool, and they'll tell you, I wish I never put the stupid thing in. It's a money pit. It's almost as bad as having a boat.
Disagree.
So I think this is a mess anyway. I agree. The density was way too crazy for that area. The houses are going in. People are coming. The roads are still small. The infrastructure sucks. 27 Mile Road is tore up. It can't get bigger. The corner of Jewel and 27 Mile is a mess. People drive off to the corner because they think that there's a right turn lane when there isn't. Lombardo got off easy by not having to improve the corner intersection at 27 and Jewel. Scott easy. That was the one that would have really made that whole little area right there a lot more feasible, a lot easier to get around for the fire department to get back and forth. But they got lucky and just put a right turn lane off of northbound M53 to eastbound 27 Mile Road. And they're lucky you can't widen 27 Mile Road because of the bridge that goes over the 27 Mile Road. That would be a major infrastructure cost, and the state's not going to take that up, and we don't have the money as a collective community to pay for it. So this is just crazy. I'm sorry, but you guys, parking is a commodity. It's a high commodity no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. You've eliminated it.
Hey,
The only
address
thing I
your
like is the
comments
fact
to
that
the
you're not going to have a
commission.
pool.
Thank you. Anybody coming up to speak on behalf of the public, please address your comments towards the commission. Oh, okay, my fault. I thought you were yelling at them.
Oh, I know, I made all my comments not realizing there was a screen right in front of me.
Oh, there we
And
go.
Louis, I just want to know, I feel a little attacked by that pool comment, but I'm going to let it slide.
He's welcome to make those comments. He sat through the 2 years of meetings. with
He said
us.
I was
He was
dumb.
at every one of them.
We know.
So I just have a quick comment, again, to second the roads, 27 and Jewel, the traffic is horrible. I understand they're going to pave Shaner soon. Hopefully that makes it better. But, okay, this may not go over as a well-received comment, but, you know, I made Gen X by the skin of my teeth, but my mom is a boomer, and let me tell you, she doesn't want a yoga studio or a pool or a dog park or a dog wash, but if there was a partnership with an in-house state-of-the-art physical rehab, that would attract seniors, because the options out here aren't great.
I agree.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Any further comment from the public?
Barry? Could I add a comment?
After the public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were coming up, I'm sorry.
So, just a quick question, a couple questions. This has been approved, you said? This has already been approved?
The PUD was approved. This is an amendment to the approved PUD.
Okay, so what I heard when you guys were talking about this, and Barry made a good comment, it took you guys 2 years to talk about this, but we're talking about putting in the data center in like tomorrow.
Oh, let's not go back.
We're not talking about the data center.
I know, but I was talking about this. I'm just saying, I hear 2 years. And this isn't going to hurt anybody. So the other question I have is, how much are these houses or apartments, how much do they cost?
I can't remember. I don't know if their
How
team
much
can
are they?
answer that question.
I'll address it.
Oh,
When he
okay.
comes back.
So, and then the other concern I had with that is that we're seeing a lot of subsidized housing come in. So they're pitching this as for seniors or for young professionals, but we're getting subsidized housing in Washington Township. And we need to be very, very, very careful about that.
Thank you. Further comments from the public? Sorry.
I'm Michelle Blake. I live on Tilson. So this has been approved. My only question, my mother, I moved her out here to 27 in Van Dyke at Kirkway. Your properties. She loves it. I would be happy if there was subsidized housing because my mother pays $2,200 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, little tiny place. She loves it. But the electrical, it was a running joke when she moved in. Someone said to me, oh my God, let her know she's going to lose power 6 times a year. In 2 years that she's been there, she's been without power every 2 months. She calls me, I don't have power, I don't have power, I don't have power. And my job is right down the street. They lose power. And going kind of back
I'm
to
sorry, I don't
AI.
mean to cut you off, but we got to talk about Clifton Corners.
Yeah, but I'm just, if you're going to build this, is there going to be a strain on the electrical grid? Because she's right by there and she loses power all the time.
It's already a approved plan and DTE can support it, allegedly.
They can support it, but they can't support 27 in Van Dyke.
I get you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The changes they're proposing are what we have to speak on, And adding or deleting a pool doesn't put any additional or delete any strain on the grid.
Seeing none, no others. Oh,
we got one more.
and
Phyllis Zimmerman, 8541 Stanford North, which is in the Enclave Apartments, which I think was also a Lombardo development, if I'm not mistaken? Partnership, yes. Yes, okay. There is a swimming pool in the Enclave Apartments. I happen to agree with this gentleman. It's rarely used. It's mostly grandparents bringing their grandkids from somewhere else to swim there. But again, the fact it can only be used from Memorial Day to Labor Day, you know, and just because that's Michigan weather is a problem, but it is not used. I agree with his assessment of the different kinds of amenities as opposed to a swimming pool. I'm not sure about the parking and all that stuff, but as far as the swimming pool goes, I totally agree. And to the lady who talked about subsidized housing, I suggest you be very careful when you make comments like that. I lived in subsidized housing for 30 years. 30 years. I served on its board of directors for 30 years. It's not subsidized housing.
To the commission.
I'm sorry, but it's not whether the development is subsidized or not is irrelevant. It's management. If you have good management in an apartment building, the apartments will survive whether they're subsidized or not. And I take great offense at those types of comments.
I appreciate your comments.
Thank you, Phyllis.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now closed. The developer would like to speak.
If I could, please, thank you. A couple of comments. The question, we're not here to talk about density. For those that were involved, the parallel plan showed a much greater density. This was a series of compromises in that, but the parallel plan, without doing this as a PUD, resulted in a much, much higher density for those of us that recall that. The gentleman that made the comment on the parking, there's 20 parking spaces on the left, which is the currently approved. There's 20 spaces on the right. 10 of them are north of the clubhouse and 10 of them are along the street. So we've still got that same parking. Throughout the rest of the community, and you're right, in your community, there is very minimal parking, and it's one of the things we've learned over the many, many years of doing this. In here in Dana, I don't know if you remember the number, but we're like 100 plus in excess of what the ordinance required parking is. It's a significant amount because we share your frustration, our residents share your frustration, and we've learned from that. So it's somewhere north of 100 in addition to what is required. The subsidized housing comment, thank you for making that. Just as a general comment, we don't do subsidized housing, we do market rate rentals. There was a question on what the price points would be on the single family homes in Washington Township. Romeo schools are probably going to be in the $600,000 to $700,000 range, transacting in that range. Again, tariffs, wars, who knows what's going on in the world, but right now that would be our crystal ball. As far as the rents for this would probably be in the $1,900 to $2,200 a month range. Again, that's based on the location and things like that. With that, and based on a couple of comments that the planning commissioners have received or have made themselves, if there's a thought that maybe there is an opportunity for us to look for some other improvements, we would be willing to ask to be tabled tonight so that maybe we could look at some other alternatives that might be palatable. if you don't think it's worth it.
Well, I think, based on our comments, I'd like to see you add some amenities to it. You yourself mentioned that outdoor pools don't get a lot of use in Michigan. I agree. I wish we had 3 more months.
Close it. Close
You
it.
got the opportunity to put an indoor pool there. You want to do a dog park, I think it's a nice add-on. I know there's some other green spaces in the community, might be appropriate for one. I know that these amenities are clustered on the west side of the community there. You've got all the multifamily on the east side. Might like to see something done over there where you could find a green space for a dog park over near the multifamily that would service that side of the community also, without having to come all the way across to the west side. I'm looking for things, if you want to amend some things, I'd love to see some improvements, some additional amenities. But I want to see you taking things away from what's already been agreed to. That makes it a little difficult when, I think the guys that were there at the time, they understand the negotiation that went into it.
PTSD at this point. We have been through this one so many times and worked so hard on getting a decent agreement to send to the board, and it was only decent enough to get a 5-2 vote. Normally, when we send something to the board, it's 7-0 and it screams through. That speaks to how close you were to really not making the bar. And that's, you want to do something good and close the pool. They'll bring their grandkids and they'll swim all winter. You know what? Do that and bring that back, and I'll gladly grant that. But you don't want to do that?
I'm inclined, if you guys want to take another bite at the apple and see if you can improve the amenities on this site, I would be inclined to table it and then let them come back with an improved plan. But that'll be up to the rest of the board.
Okay. I can't make a commitment to something as significant as an indoor pool tonight, obviously. But I will make a commitment that we'll go back and take a hard look at what we can, and we'll go back through the process. If there's value in that, then I would request that we be tabled from tonight's meeting to a future meeting.
Okay. I would.
Which meeting would you like to be tabled to? How much time do you think you would need?
The first meeting after the data center.
Okay.
So 2028 sometime.
I'm sorry to be a smart aleck. Realistically, by the time we meet internally, by the time we have our planner and engineer look at something, by the time we submit something and it goes through a review process, are we looking at 60 days, 90 days?
We would need everything a month in advance, so, the next meeting's February 12th.
No.
April?
March
12th. Let's shoot for March. Can we do the March meeting? Table it to a date specific?
If you're not ready, you can still ask to be postponed.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to,
Sorry.
well, obviously,
Yeah,
if
you
you're not
don't
going
want
to
to do
make
this
major
again.
changes, you can work through the process you were working on to do the minor changes.
Right.
And
Yep.
the commission wouldn't have a say. It's the major changes that come back here. Correct?
Chair, sorry, two comments. One is just to note for the Planning Commission, this process is a little bit different only because the language for the amendments is written right into the PUD agreement versus our ordinance language for amendments, which came after Clifton Corners was approved.
Okay.
So just a note to you all, even though the criteria isn't spelled out in the agreement itself, just to be on the safe side, we would still look for a motion from the Planning Commission that follows the 8 special land use criteria like we do for any others. And again, this Planning Commission would make a recommendation to the board who has the final authority for any PUD amendments. The second comment for the applicant, because the PUD agreement language specifies the size of the clubhouse and the amenities in the clubhouse, we actually need to see an amended PUD agreement document.
Okay.
Yatesview simultaneously has requested PUD amendments because all of these are coming forward at once. We really want to see that streamlined into one document at some point so that we can do that through one legal process and so that the board isn't left really confused with multiple applications before them. So noting those things just for future reference.
Okay.
Those we would address when we actually when we make a motion at a future meeting. Tonight's motion would just be to
Correct.
postpone
To table. Yep.
until
The March
so-
12th.
March 12th meeting, date specific. All right, I'll make the motion to postpone to the March 12th meeting.
Support.
Or 2026.
You take.
No.
You got 2 supports. Take which one you
All
want.
in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes to postpone till March.
Okay, probably Probably tell the guys to come back with the best you're going to do, because, you know.
Yeah, this will be it.
This has been a long time coming. You're probably going to get one more bite at the apple.
Wow.
Understood.
Thank
No,
you.
and if I may make a comment to the audience, this board was looking at basically high-density 70-style apartments versus this PUD that we approved. So that was the compromise that we had to make. So just FYI. Thank you.
Okay, and now we can move on to old business. Item A, 32-mile technical campus request to postpone February 12th to the February 12th, 2026 PC meeting. At this time, I want to make a motion to postpone to the February 12th, 2026 meeting.
Support?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And we'll move on to item B, Yates View Estates, same thing, request to postpone the February 12th meeting, 2026. I'll make a motion to postpone to the February 12th, 2026 PC meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Kozak's not here for project update unless Dana would like to fill in.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Then the Township Board update.
Can Dana fill in on that, too?
Yes,
No,
please.
I cannot.
I'll second that motion.
Let's see, what's happened since the last time we were here?
Christmas.
Christmas did,
2
but
years.
let's see, we adopted the Parks and Rec master plan. So they presented that at the last board meeting, and so that will be in place soon. If they've met all of their hurdles and distributed copies to everybody that needs a copy. And I believe at the meeting before that, I don't know if we had a PC since then, we approved the new fire station on Powell Road and 30 Mile. That is going to be going through, there's a new fire station that will be built over there. Township owns property right on the corner of Powell and 30 Mile Road. So they will be building a brand-new fire station over there to service that section of the community. Also, along with the fire station, we are building a training facility behind it that will be a burn tower that will be used for training firefighters, not only from Washington Township, from all around the Tri-County area. So it's, it would be a nice thing for the township to have and make sure that our firefighters stay on top of their training, and it'll be useful for all different departments around. There will also be, along with that, a light going in on, don't get too excited yet, on the 30 Mile and Van Dyke Expressway intersection. Now, after a lot of conversations with the Michigan Department of Transportation, they're allowing us to put in a light only for emergency use. So when the fire station has a run, they will be able to control that light to stop north and southbound traffic in order to get out onto the expressway and go where they need to go. But the Michigan Department of Transportation will not allow us to use it as any other type of traffic control device. So you'll see a new light go up there, but I have a feeling that it's just going to be a flashing yellow light 99% of the time at this point. So there'll be no new east-west crossing there either. So
That overpass.
yeah, everything we talked till we were blue in the face. We talked with everybody, every board, every commission, every official. And, the state of Michigan is just not letting us do what we wanted to do. So, but you'll see the light in the construction, and that's what's going on.
Hey, Dana, I handed Dana some paperwork from earlier discussions. I would ask that you forward copies of that to the commissioners, if you don't mind. I didn't want the public to see me just throw their papers aside. We want those, but there's only one, and there's 7 of us, so she'll pass that along to the appropriate people.
Oh, I did think of one more thing. Washington Township now has a new canine unit. At the last board meeting, I was trying to remember, but memories go. Vader. You like that dog, don't you?
He's so cute.
Yeah. So
That's his name?
Vader. Yes.
Or her name?
So the dog is trained to do search and rescue. He does actually, instead of listing all things, the only thing he doesn't do is drug sniffing. I mean, he does pretty much everything else. So, and the funds were donated to purchase that dog to provide services to Washington Township. So it didn't come at any cost to the township, and it's just one more tool we have in our law enforcement bag. So,
What kind of dog is it?
it looked like I didn't
German Shepherd?
It looks like a Belgian Malinois, which is German Shepherd, but cooler.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
It moves us to adjournment.
Sorry,
Oh, my
Chair, Chair Miller.
Oh, commission discussion, my fault. I missed that.
You're okay. One item, don't want to keep you guys too long. I did hand out at the start of the meeting the annual Planning Commission report for 2025. We were anticipating a loaded agenda this meeting, so we didn't put the motion on the agenda. We'll move it to our February meeting, but wanted you all to have this for review. The Michigan Planning Enabling Act requires that the Planning Commission submit a written report to the board every year, reporting on the meetings that were held, how many applications were processed, and any major actions that took place during the previous year. So just for the record, I'll go briefly through the conclusion that you have on page 3. This commission met a total of 11 times in 2025, 10 regular meetings, 1 special meeting. In total, you guys processed 24 applications just at the Planning Commission level. And you recommended 5 substantial ordinance amendments to the Board of Trustees, all of which were adopted. In 2026, we'll continue to implement the master plan as detailed in the work program that you all adopted this past year, continuing any of those action items that we didn't work our way through in 2025. And then just noting, as you did at the beginning of the meeting, that the commission currently has 1 vacant seat. If you guys have any questions on that, feel free to ask them. If not, we'll discuss and have a motion next meeting.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
I have one thing to ask. If I may, little housekeeping. On 26 Mile Road and Mount, we had a sign and it's tipped over, welcoming people to Washington Township. That sign, which establishes us, what, 1820 something or 1818, and it's laying over. And
The new one?
Where at?
The township did approve wayfinding signs, new signage, and you've seen some of them start going up, and so I'm not certain if
this is an old one. It used to
Right.
sit right by the,
They're replacing
right by the,
the Rite Aid.
yeah.
Yeah, they're replacing it with a new sign.
Okay, and no,
maybe
this one's by the graveyard on the corner.
Yeah, they're pulling those and they're replacing them with.
Oh, they are.
signs,
Okay,
so-
well, I just, I didn't know if everybody
noticed.
noticed.
They have it on, I believe, the other side of the road near Cherry Creek. Isn't there another one going in right there at 26 and Mound? That's the one you're speaking of, right?
Yeah, well,
The new
it's
one's
not a very
going
big
in
sign,
near
it's
the
about like
walking
this.
paths over there, I believe. If it's not already.
Yeah,
out, I thought it
our
was.
approved plan is actually in our, I think it's part of our master plan. We do have that section with wayfinding, and it might show the actual locations of all the new signs.
Yeah, they have a few up. I know one was brought up with regard to, and there's been comments made about the one that's being installed at 32 and Powell on the property, and they thought it was a sign welcoming future development, that I can't speak of. But it is actually going to be one of our wayfinding signs welcoming you to Washington Township. It's just happens.
Well, there's a big sign, right?
Right now, I think it just says welcome on it. I don't think. the rest of
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
is
That's,
that.
yeah, there's one that
So it's
says,
not
well,
done. It's all
Yeah.
under construction.
Trust the process.
Yes, please.
One more time.
Trust the process.
Yeah. I had one more announcement before we close, and I just wanted everybody to see if they can, on the way out, in the lobby, there's some signage and some boards out there. Our planning consultant, Kayla, has been working on this very diligent with the township for a couple of years now. The township purchased the Hawks Acres property, the old farm, the old horse farm over there, and we want to preserve that as a green space and find some uses for it. Kayla has put together some information out there that talks about some of the potential uses for that, and we want input from all the residents. So if you've got the time as you go out, read through that, take a look, and maybe mark off some things that you think would be a good use of that property so we get your feedback on it. We got 27 acres over there of green space. We're looking for things to do, to add to, the community and preserve that. So if you've got the time, stop, take a look, and tell us what you're thinking. We'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.